question is, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
I'm framing my answer in the only way in which any American citizen can frame his
Then you
answer to
denied-
a question
then
which
you-
invades his, absolutely invades
Then
his
you
right.
denied, you refuse to answer that question. Is that correct?
I have told you that I will
All right.
offer my beliefs, my affiliations, and
Here's the
everything
witness.
else
Here's the
to
witness.
the American public, and they will know where I stand, as they do from what I have written.
Stand away
I have
from the
written
stand.
for Americanism for many years, and I shall
Stand away from the stand.
fight for the Bill of Rights, which you are
I'll
trying to
take this
destroy.
man away from the stand.
After the Great Depression, World War II, and the Cold War, the ideas of communism that were beginning to spread to the U.S. made Americans uneasy about their safety from another Red Scare. During this time, Congress formed the House of Un-American Activities in 1938 to begin hearings and testimonials of suspicious characters with relations to the Soviet Union in Hollywood.
We have done a pretty good job in our business of keeping those people's activities curtailed.
Ever observed any communistic information in any scripts?
Well, I've turned down quite a few scripts because I thought they were tinged with communistic ideas.
Arthur Miller was one of the accused, as he was a screenwriter and a playwright. He was jailed and fined since he was not compliant with Congress. These blacklisted individuals were barred from jobs and required to give a testimony in court.
The Screenwriters Guild was allowed in 1953 to remove screen credits from any suspected communists.
Of the most famous accusations were of the Hollywood 10 for not being submissive with the court. They were accused of spreading communist propaganda through the works of films and scripts. The HUAC questioned them on their membership and in sympathy of the Communist Party. These artists were blacklisted based on the evidence which were hardly explicit and verifiable. The 10 refused to answer the committee's questions and cited their rights of the freedom of speech and assembly in the First Amendment. On November 24, 1947, the House of Representatives voted and declared against the Hollywood 10 for contempt of court. About 150 people were blacklisted and jailed, not including those who were already accused but received a lighter sentence through listing and accusing other people. These 10 remarkable individuals fought against conformity, challenged ignorant authorities, and stood up for the individual's civil rights, while others did not.
These 10 individuals included Halbert Bieberman, Alva Bessie, Dalton Trumbo, Ring Lardner Jr., Albert Maltz, Lester Cole, Samuel Ornitz, Edward Dmytryk, Adrian Scalt, and John Howard Lawson.
Of these people, Dalton Trumbo proved to be the most proud as represented in his hearing.
Member of the Screenwriters Guild.
Mr. Stribling, the rights of American labor to inviolably secret membership lists have been won in this country by a great cost of blood and a great cost in terms of hunger.
Have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Chairman, first I should like to know whether the quality of my last answer was acceptable, since I am still on the stand.
This had nothing to do with your last answer or the last question.
See.
This is a new question
I
now.
see. Mr. Stribling, you must have some reason for asking me this question.
You can address the
You
committee.
do. I understand that the members of the press have been given an alleged Communist Party card belonging to me. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
You're not asking the question.
I was.
The chief investigator's asking the
I beg your
question.
pardon,
Now, are you or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
I believe I have the right to be confronted with any evidence which supports this question. I should like to see what you have.
Oh, well, you would.
Yes.
Well, you will pretty soon.
The situation escalated to the point where Hollywood refused to recognize blacklisted individuals.
In 1952, Charlie Chaplin left for a promotional tour in England for his movie Limelight. Upon his return, he was barred from returning under the suspicion of being a communist sympathizer.
In 1972, 20 years later, he returned to America and finally received an award for his lifetime works.
Oh, you're wonderful, sweet people. Thank you.
In 1957, the accused John Henry Folk formally filed a case against Aware, a private investigation firm aiding companies in examining workers for communist disloyalty. As the first of the blacklisted individuals to take legal action for being fired, Folk spent 5 grueling years fighting for justice. In 1962, Folk won his case, effectively demanding compensation for the professional and financial damage caused by the accusations. With this verdict, blacklisting in Hollywood began to decline significantly as actors and screenwriters were once again recognized.
The Blacklists was a time of evil, and no one on either side who survived it came through untouched by evil. Caught in a situation that has passed beyond the control of mere individuals, each person reacted as his nature, his needs, his convictions, and his particular circumstances compelled him to. There was bad faith and good, honesty and dishonesty, courage and cowardice, selflessness and opportunism, wisdom and stupidity, good and bad on both sides. When you are who you are, in your 40s or younger, looking back on that dark time with curiosity, as I think occasionally you should, it will do you no good to search for villains or heroes, saints or devils, because there were none. There were only victims.